Hi everybody, welcome to All Games New and Old. I am David Rodriguez, and today I'm going to be unboxing this mysterious package right here. What this is this is the Hyper Base LBox 500 gigabyte hard drive from the JMachen company, and this is supposed to be loaded with a lot of emulators and games, including some fairly recent stuff. So I'll be curious to see what's on there. Now, just to be perfectly upfront with you, this was sent to me from them. They gave this to me. And there should be an affiliate link in the description. So if you see this and like it, if you would click that link to purchase it, that would be great because I will get some small amount of money from that. Now, that being said, they were adamant that I could go ahead and give my true opinion on this and, not take that into account. And that's what I would do anyway. I mean, this affiliate link is not likely to make me super rich or anything. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to tell you what I think about this thing when I get it plugged in, and everything has some good and bad, so I'm going to try to touch on all that. But before I get to that, let's get this open and just kind of see what comes with this. It is a very small package, so it might just be the drive itself. I'm thinking that's all it is. Hopefully connector wires of some sort, although I probably have something I could use if they don't have that in there. Now, this is just a hard drive. So you do need to have a computer to attach it to. You cannot just hook this up to your TV and have it do anything. So here is our drive. Looks pretty cool. And yes, indeed, there's our connector wires. So yeah, I mean, very basic. There's no instructions in here. I think it's just supposed to be plug and play. So I'm going to give it a shot. So I'm going to put this through its paces, and then I'll come back. I'm going to show you some of the collections that are on here, and then I'll tell you exactly what I think about this product. Hopefully it's going to be good, because I'm very interested to see what they put on here. I'm just pulling this out really quick because I want to see it without the shiny wrapper. But yeah, nice looking drive, nice and small. Doesn't need its own like power plug, which is always nice. One less thing I have to hook up, so that's great. All right, so let me get to that and keep watching. Maybe you'll see something you like. All right, folks, it's actually been several weeks since I did that intro because I got the most awful cold and I could not shake it for the life of me. My voice sounds weird to me even now, but other people say it sounds fine, so hopefully it's not annoying. I don't know, but I really wanted to get this out because I feel really bad that it's taken me this long. But I was coughing and all kinds of things, so it just wasn't working. I tried a couple times and it was pure awful. So let's get on to this thing. So when you plug in your drive, you're going to find it down with your other drives, and it's going to be called LBox Lite. Now, I do recommend that you change the drive letter to N because some of the game systems will not launch if you don't. Specifically, I noticed PlayStation would not come up if you don't change the drive letter. I believe this file here was in there, and it tells you how to do it. There's other tutorials you can find if you're not sure. There's some things you have to install in this install first section. Most of this I already had on my system, so it wasn't really too big a deal, but you may have to do some installing there. Then you go to the folder named openlaunchbox.exe, and it's a whole bunch of your files. So you have like the BIOS, you have the emulators, and what we're most concerned with here maybe is the games. You can kind of, if you want to just look at lists of them, you can do that there. But to actually start the system, you're going to go all the way to the bottom, double-click Launchbox, and it's going to start loading up. Okay, so here we are. We're in Launchbox, and let me kind of show you what this has. Now, over here on the left, you have all your systems. So, we have the N64, the NES, the GameCube, the Switch, the Wii, the Wii U, Sega Dreamcast, Genesis, PlayStation 1 through 4, and Super Nintendo, and then some Windows stuff as well. 4, I'm guessing, is all the Windows versions of the games, because there's not like a PlayStation 4 emulator right now. Now, I think this is actually a really great selection of systems. I'm a little bummed there's no, there's a few that are missing, like there's no TurboGrafx, no Sega CD, no Sega Saturn, and no Neo Geo. And while I'm bummed to not have those on there, it's a 500 gigabyte hard drive, which is, it's big, but if they have to make cuts somewhere, they're going to probably keep the most popular systems that more people have that nostalgia for. So understandable, and that's just what we got. So let's kind of go through. I'll show you some of the stuff that's on here. One thing I like about this is over on the side, you'll see it has some information about the game. So here you can go and look up stuff about GoldenEye, and it'll tell you who published it and what kind of game it is, all sorts of things like that. It'll even tell you at the bottom a little description of the game, which is pretty cool. And then if we go over here, we can just kind of scroll through and see what all there is. There's 391 N64 games on here. And there's some on here that are Japanese games, which I don't think they're necessarily translated. I went into a couple and they were not translated. There might be some on here that are, but just so you know, some will be easier than others to play if you don't know Japanese. But, you know, if it's an action kind of game, it's probably all right. There's, I think there's a couple RPGs on here that might be a little trickier, but, you know, they're there for you. I'm just going to scroll through these systems kind of quickly, just because I don't want to take forever doing it, but I do want you to kind of at least be able to see what's on here for the most part. When we do like the Nintendo, I don't know if I can scroll through all that because it's quite a lot of games, and that will just take a long time. But, you know, you got all kinds of stuff on here. You got your Ready to Rumble boxings, Resident Evil, Road Rash. Of course, it has Mario on there. I don't know if I already passed. I think it's Super Mario 64. So it has that awful South Park game. But maybe someone likes it. I don't know. It has the Star Wars stuff, StarCraft. There we go. There's Super Mario 64. The Tetrises, Rainbow Six, all 3 Tony Hawk games that were on the system. Top Gear, Turok. I haven't touched Turok in a long time, but some Japanese wrestling games. We got the US wrestling games. Wipeout, Worms. There's the some of the WWF games. So ton on there as far as that goes. NES, again, I'm not going to look through all these because it's just so much, but it shows you down at the bottom, 1,747 games of the original Nintendo. Again, there's a lot of Japanese ones in here that I may not have even heard of, so I think that's kind of cool. I'm always curious to try some of these games that we didn't see stateside. Now, you'll notice that some of them don't have the box art, which is kind of a bummer, but you know, that's relatively minor. I will say that Launchbox, it's not really like the prettiest kind of front end you could be using here, but it's, you know, it does the purpose. It's not bad or anything. And I believe there are ways to kind of change how it shows things. I didn't do that because I'm okay with this, honestly, and I wanted you to see kind of how it came. And this hardware does come with the free version of Launchbox. There is a way you can pay for it and get more features. I really haven't looked into that. I'm happy just going with it as is, but you know, if you're curious about it, you could check that out. I'm really zipping through these, but you get it. There's a ton of Nintendo games. GameCube, let's go through those. There's 35, so not a massive amount, but you know, that's what you're gonna expect as the systems get more powerful. There's gonna be fewer games, but you have your Bloody Roar, Animal Crossing, Eternal Darkness, Ikaruga, which is a great shoot 'em up. Your Zeldas, Luigi's Mansion, whole bunch of Mario games, Metroid Prime Echoes, and all the good stuff. Oh, Skies of Arcadia, fantastic RPG, and so that's good. So let's go to Switch. So let's see here. Some of the stuff is not, like, Audio Group is not a game. I'm not sure why that's showing up here, but that's fine. So you have ARMS. Not a ton of, like, the really big games, which is, again, to be probably expected. But, you know, you got Hollow Knight and Zelda Link's Awakening, Super Mario Odyssey, Splatoon 2. So, it's got some cool stuff on there. Wii, only 6 games on Wii. That's fine. So, you know, doing the controllers as they were was kind of hard. You know, the Nintendo really went through a period where they were doing weird stuff with controllers, and I know the Wii was a very popular system, but it is kind of hard when you're trying to translate that to, like, an Xbox controller, which is what I've been using. So we have Wii U, we have Zelda Wind Waker HD, Mario Kart 8, and Pokken Tournament. Dreamcast, whoops. We have 22 games. So Crazy Taxis and Dead or Alive, House of the Dead, Soul Reaver, Marvel's Capcom 2, which is great. I did have to go in and kind of, just within the game, change the button layout for this, because if you played it, you know, like taking a partner, you have to hit like light punch and heavy punch, and they were, the buttons were like opposite each other instead of like lined up, so it was really, really hard to do, but that, you know, that's a minor thing. That might just be other setup. I don't know that it'll matter too much for other games. Genesis, we have 657 games in here. So lots of stuff there. I couldn't think of anything I really noticed missing, although there's so many games that it's honestly hard to really catch it if something is just not there. But I will say, like, they really did a great job, I think, of getting, the really popular stuff and then also filling it in with some stuff that you may have missed. I know that there's a ton of these that I wanted to play as a kid, and I just never got it. Little Medusa. This does not even... Is this... I was trying to figure out if this was a actual, like, official game because the box is just 16-bit mega cartridge. It looks kind of weird, but I don't know. It doesn't matter as long as it's fun, I guess. But yeah, lots of cool stuff on here. Let's go on to the Sony PlayStation. All right, so here we've got our PlayStation games, and I will say, and PlayStation is a good example of this, I really like the selection they have on here. With 500 gigs, you're getting a good amount of games, but you're not necessarily going to have every single game that you've ever seen. But that's okay. Like, my personal taste, like, I don't care about having every version of Madden. Like, I really don't want that. But it has a lot of, like, the RPGs that are maybe a little tougher to find. You got both the Lundras, About the Fires, Azure Dreams, Brave Fencer Musashi, Legacy of Kain. Of course, you got Castlevanias, Crash Bandicoot, Diablo, a whole bunch of the Final Fantasy stuff, Front Mission 3, Driver's fantastic. I mean, they really did good, especially in the games the systems where they're a little more limited in what they can pick. They did a great job of, I think, really choosing well. I mean, Nintendo, they could stick kind of everything on there, and the 16-bit ones pretty much too, but, when they got to these a little more advanced systems, I think they did a really good job choosing what they put on here. So we have PlayStation 2. There's 51 games on here. So you have original Burnout. I haven't played the original in a long time. Disgaea, Final Fantasy XX2 and 12, God of War 2, Grand Theft Auto 3, and Vice City Stories, Grim Grimoire, Guilty Gear X2. I mean, there's just a ton of stuff. A Karaoke Revolution. I wonder how that would work if it'll pick up on the computer's microphone or not. I have not tried that, but I am curious how that functions on here. You got your Resident Evils here, Shadow of the Colossus, Silent Hill, Shattered Memories. They don't have Silent Hill 2, which is a little surprising, but that's okay. Spider-Man 2, SSX, Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution. Great fighting game. So lots of stuff there. Let's go to PlayStation 3. Okay, so yeah, I did something where I like updated this, and so all this stuff that you're seeing, this droid stuff, these are like, I think they're just sound files for like the games that they're near. So that isn't actually there when you first get the system. So this is going to look a little weird. I may have to go through and hide some of this stuff. Let's focus on the games, because that's really when you don't do whatever it is I did. That's what it was. I was trying to figure out how to put games on here, and so I was doing all these scans, and so it did some strange stuff. You had Disgaea 3, Don't Starve, Double Dragon Neon. Oh boy, look at what I did. I made a mess of this thing. Here we go. Let's go down. Okay, so I'm skipping me scrolling through some of this. I really got to fix whatever I did, but it doesn't come looking like this. It comes with the just the game showing. So Ever Defense Force, Trophy Hunter, Just Dance. This is wild because it didn't do this to the other systems, I don't think. So Rayman Origins, Ridge Racer 7. So notice down here it says 901 of 4,724 total games. It does not have that many games. It's counting all these things that are like files that are separate as games, but it does have, I believe, over 3,000. So, and then Wolf Among Us. So that's what's got on here. Sorry, it's a spread out. It's just something that happened when I tried to be all fancy and do stuff. Same deal here. So Grand Theft Auto 5, Guardians of the Galaxy, Prototype 2, and Witcher 3. That's all the PlayStation 4 games on here. Again, probably the PC versions, but good selection there. And then Super Nintendo, here we go. This has 761 games. So again, we're not going to linger on anything here. We're just going to zip on through. But you can see it's got really a ton of stuff. So again, pretty much if you can think of a Super Nintendo game, it's probably in here, which is great. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of show you first how you add games, because that's where I came into my issue, where it's so much easier than I was trying to make it be. And I did something to scan and it gave me all this junk. So I haven't added a lot of games to this. The only thing I added was Tempest X3. And all I did was went to the file on my computer where it was, and I dragged it and dropped it into this. And then it'll ask you a bunch of questions. Just accept it all, and then it'll load it in, and suddenly you have the game you wanted. It's really simple to add, and I was going through all these menus and trying to get things to happen. But you don't have to do that. Don't follow my footsteps and have to look, through 100 things to find the PlayStation 3 game you want. I'm hoping I can figure that out and fix that, but it's really easy to do. So if you have the ROMs or you go find them, simple as can be to add stuff in. And again, it adds the descriptions to them, as long as it can find them. So I don't think I'll have a problem with really anything, I don't imagine. All right, so with that being said, let's look at how some of these systems run. Now, I'm not going to do like the SNES and the Genesis and the original Nintendo because everything can run those. It's, they're not difficult at all. So I'm just going to start at the top and work my way down. We're just going to see as much of this as we can. So let's go to Nintendo 64. And I will go to a really underrated game, in my opinion, Beetle Adventure Racing. So I'm going to double click that. In a minute, it will load up. Now, I'm going to this because I did play this already on here. And I did notice in the opening scene, it had some issues with like the opening video. But that being said, the game worked fine. It just, for some reason, was cutting out the actual video part of the opening video. So we're going to not worry too much about that. It's, that's just going to be something that happens when you have emulators and ROMs. Some things aren't 100% perfect. But as long as the gameplay is, I'm seeing it's going to mess up again, but yeah, so for some reason it freezes and then it does that, and I don't know why. So that's okay. Adventure Racing. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna get into the games. Do one player, single race. We'll do that. I'm just doing everything, whatever they want. So. Good choice. Nice wheel. All right, we're gonna get there. So I want to show you this because it runs pretty well, but there are some weird graphical issues. As you might notice, underneath Coventy code, there are some like lines where, I don't know, it's like part of the picture got like a line in it somehow. And you might notice that as I'm playing too, sometimes between the polygons of like the road, there'll be like a little break, a little tear in it. Like right there's one I just ran over. Again, it doesn't hurt the gameplay. I think it's just how the emulator does this game. I don't, it hasn't caused me any issues as far as playing at all, and it's a minor nuisance. I don't remember the original game having that, but that being said, I haven't played Beetle Adventure Racing for I don't know, 20 years maybe. So, ooh, I was trying to get a shortcut here and I missed it. So it's not gonna be that short, but there are a lot of shortcuts in this game, which is fun. So anyway, this does run pretty well. It has some minor issues. Nothing that really bothers me. You can decide for yourself if that bothers you. But I'm not too bothered by it. Other things I've tried have worked pretty well. I haven't noticed any of those issues. Although I haven't, I can't play every game on these systems, so you might find others that have issues. But for the most part, it's not too bad. All right, so let me get out of this. And when you want to get out, some of the systems you hit start and select, and some you can just hit, or upgrade all of them, you can hit escape, and it'll take you right back to the menu. So let's go on to Nintendo GameCube. All right, I want to show something that's kind of fast to play, so we're not like waiting through a bunch of stuff. Let's try Bloody Roar. I actually have not played that on here, so we'll see how it goes. Takes a second to load up the emulator, and then we're in the game. This, the GameCube is another system that had, kind of a funky controller, so, yeah, you might notice some unusual things you have to get used to when you're controlling certain games. But, that's just kind of how it goes. Alright, I did fast forward through some of that stuff where it was loading, because it's not that interesting to watch, and I want to get right to the game. So it doesn't actually go that fast. It probably just goes at the regular normal speed. I haven't played this in a really long time, so I don't even remember what characters do what, but we're going to try it. Alright, we're going to skip the story for now. Sometimes there is a little skippiness when a game starts out for the first time. But overall, I mean, it looks great. Very smooth, pretty graphics. No real issue that I can tell, and that's been the case with every GameCube game I've tried. So, you know, in general, I think it handles the system really well. I don't know any of the controls, by the way. I'm just kind of doing stuff, so... If you're a big Bloody Roar fan, you might notice I suck at this. Alright, so that looks good, so I'm going to go and stop that, and let's go ahead and get to the next system here. And I did kind of forget that GameCube, I have trouble getting out of that. I'm sure there's probably an easier way than what I'm doing, but I ended up just kind of alt-tabbing out of that and closing that window because the plus and select thing wasn't working, escape wasn't working, so that's just kind of how it is, but, you know, minor gripe. Onto Nintendo Switch, we have ARMS, Celeste. I went through all this, but yeah, there's all kinds of stuff on here. And on this one, I've tried Super Mario Odyssey and Enter the Gungeon. And I think I tried Celeste as well, but I'm going to try a game I haven't tried. We're going to go with ARMS here, which I only have a vague idea of what this is about. I know it's kind of a fighting game, but I don't know much about it. Alright, so I did fast forward the loading because, you know, not exciting. Let's do Ribbon Girl. Oh, dang it. I always forget that the selecting for the Switch is different. Now we'll see if this works, because it looks like this might need motion control stuff to do it. So I don't know if this is actually a great test of gameplay. We'll see. It's going to be an interesting experiment. Okay. Alright, just going to kind of do a tutorial with me, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, you can see this is working. It's not the most exciting demo I suppose I could give you, because it's, you know, not like the full gameplay, but you get it. Okay. I thought maybe I needed motion control to control this, but it doesn't seem like I do. Oh, okay, so I can tell using the stick, so that's fine. Okay, I get it. All right, anyway, so that's a Switch. Let's get out of this. All right, let's check out the Wii, and we'll do Mario Kart. Now, what's kind of cool is you can use the right stick as your pointer here. The tough thing is that you have to then hit the face button to select something, so that's a little tricky, and I'm not doing good at this at all. What is going on with me? There we go. I don't know why that was so tough. Alright, so here we go. Getting into that, let's do Grand Prix. We'll do the slow one for now. I'm a Wario guy, so we'll do that. And sure, we'll do that one. Why not? Sure, Mario Circuit, why not? Okay, so let's get into it and we'll see how this looks. I have played this one, and it looks good when I played it before, so I imagine nothing has changed. But I want you to see how it goes. What's interesting is I've noticed it being like a blurry quality to some of them. Like they've got like a ghost of themselves around them, and I don't know if I didn't notice that previously or if that's just this level or what, to be honest with you. But oh no. Okay, I'm getting hit by everybody. That's not. Oh, I suck, you guys. Okay, so not having the best run that I could have. But you get the idea. I think actually looks decent. I didn't notice that weird ghosting thing before, so it might just be this level, or I might just not have noticed it. It looks fine unless I look really closely at the characters, but that's that. All right. All right, so let's move on to the Wii U. And for this one, let's do, is it Puckin or Pokken Tournament? I really don't know. I played a little bit of this last night. Looked pretty good, so let's try that out. One thing I noticed, at least with this game, the sound on the Wii U is a lot quieter than the other systems. And I don't know why that is. But for some reason, and then it does this flashy thing. So that is something to know. It gets all weird and flashy for reasons that are kind of beyond me. But it doesn't seem to do it during the game. It's with these menus. And I'm not... Again, that could just be the ROM and how it works with the emulator. That's always a possibility. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and do him. And choose your allies here. Okay, I'm just going to let it see it again, that menu. For some reason, menus on this one, it just has issues, but okay. So we're getting into it. I just kind of want to show you the game's in motion so you kind of see how it goes.
Which Pokemon do you want to tag for support?
We'll do him. Why not?
Go with my gut. This battle
All right.
is pretty tight. Try not to get pinned down. All right, now you're in dual phase.
So that's how it is. I mean, it looks really nice. It's running smooth. There's that weird little menu issue, which I don't believe is going to be a problem in every game, but it's one of those little kind of nuisances that you sometimes run into with emulated games. But the gameplay itself works great, so no real issues here. All right, let's check out the Sega Dreamcast here. All right, so let's see. Let's try kind of zooming around here. Let's do Crazy Taxi. Why not? We'll give that one a shot. Giving me that weird information there about the controller not being set up. I'm not sure why, because it does seem to work in the game. So I got no idea. Let's get into this.
All right, let's get it on. Hey, it's time to make some crazy money. Are you ready? Here we go.
All right, so here we go. It looks good. Everything is running smoothly, as you can see. We have your Offspring soundtrack working in full force here. I don't know where I'm going to this, but that's okay. All right, so that's it. That's Dreamcast. That's been working fine for me so far, so got no complaints there. And let's move on to PlayStation. All right, so we're just going to go with everything it says now. I'll just accept whatever it wants me to do. That's fine. As before, I sped up the loading on that just so you don't have to sit through all that. And let's get going. Okay, that was trippy. I was having a little issue with my controller there. I don't know what happened, but I wasn't getting anywhere. So I skipped that, but you'll also have to know that that jump was because I was hitting weird stuff and it wasn't working right. I expected, for some reason I thought the trigger was going to be my acceleration and it wasn't, so. I don't know if I'm ever going to catch up to my opponent here, but there we go. We're zooming along. And it looks pretty good. It's running very smoothly. I'm not sure the frames per second, but it doesn't look too skippy to me. It is, you know, it's PlayStation, so it looks a little... a little blocky, a little edgy, a little grainy, but, you know, you can tell what everything is, and it's running... Ooh, there's a wall right there. Gotta watch out for that. But it's running really smooth, so, you know, no complaints as far as that goes. And, wow, I haven't played this one in a long time. Which is, I mean, that's a... Ooh, wow. That's what this is about, though, trying these games that you haven't played in a while, so... I'm gonna get out of that. Let's go to PlayStation 2. And let's get some fighting game action going on. Let's do Guilty Gear X. I was in the middle of a game before. I think it might... it did a save state, you know. I'm not really sure how to access the save state, though, so... Just know it's in there. I'm going to worry about that another time. If you've never played one of the Guilty Gear games, it's really a phenomenally animated 2D fighter. Alright, so we'll go ahead and go with her. So the summer moves right off. And we're just going to see how smoothly this runs. It's really pretty nice.
Heaven or hell, duel one, let's rock!
It almost looks like a Neo Geo fighter or something about it to me, but as you can see, it's running great. Animation's fantastic. I played some of the other 3D games too. Those also work really great, but I just wanted to break it up here so you can see something a little different than what I've been showing you. And yeah, it runs real smooth. I mean, there's really not a lot I have to complain about on this system, as I'll get to in a little bit. But all right, let's get on to something else. So, okay, so here you hit escape, and it gives you the chance to like load state if you wanted to. So I'm just gonna close it, and I'm gonna exit without saving. We don't need to save that. That's fine. And then I gotta go up here and close that emulator. No big deal. PlayStation 3. All right, so I'm going into Ridge Racer 7. I hate to bombard you with racing games, but they do tend to show off a lot. I like the good graphics, so wanted to do that. Let's get in here and check it out. I skipped a lot of the part where I was like looking through those useless files that are on there, so sorry about that. But anyway, here we go. See, I love Namco. They put these little things in here, free to play. Well, it's loading, although I think I can just go to it now. Alright, that's fine. Let's go ahead and get into the game. So, let's do an arcade, because I don't want to take a lot of time here. Sure. I'm just going to take whatever.
Welcome to Rave City Riverfront, a course famous for its giant jump. Did you know you can take the branching route if you use a nitrous jump? Okay, we're about to start.
3, 2, 1, go!
Alright. So we're going on this. The city looks beautiful. And, you know, it's looking great. Reflections are good. It's running right up at about 60 frames per second. It's really hard to look up there when I'm trying not to wreck, but yeah, that's what it's doing. So it's running great. And again, it is gonna depend on your computer a bit as far as how well it runs. You know, the easier or earlier systems, probably most everyone can run. You're gonna need something a little more powerful as you get up in the systems and how complex they are. That's just how it is. But my laptop is a gaming laptop from about 3 years ago, so it's still running great on that. So no real issues there. All right, very cool. Let's go ahead and go into the next thing. And this you can just kind of close because it's windowed mode. PlayStation 4. Okay, so I've gotten into Witcher 3 here. All those games I think are pretty heavy story, so it's not going to be something I can really avoid. We'll get new games. Fresh start. Story and Sword. Sure. We'll just do whatever. Okay. Alright, so I skipped the cinematics because they're very graphic and I'm trying to not... My channel's fairly kid-friendly as much as I can make it be so, but you can see like the game looks absolutely gorgeous.
See, I thought Siri could stand to wait a little longer.
It's uninstructive, not to mention unreasonable.
All right, for now, I kind of alt-tabbed out of that. I could have probably just shut it down normally, but I was in mid-conversation there, so. Now, if we go down here to Windows, none of these games are a real big strain on the system, and honestly, Witcher 4, or Witcher 3, rather, excuse me, is, that's really the PC version anyway, so I think you get the idea. So I've had very few, if any, real gripes with how the system runs things. It's all been really, really smooth, and again, I really like the selection they have here. So to talk about positives and negatives, I'll start with the negatives first. Things that I've really probably already touched on is, you know, it's missing some of the systems that I would like to see on here as well, but, you know, again, you only have so much space, so I'm not that upset about it, but, you know, if you're really dying to play Sega Saturn on your computer, this doesn't have that built in anyway. Another negative, if you run an antivirus on this, it will find things that that I believe are actually just game files. Like I found actually a lot when it was specifically scanning The Witcher 3, but I believe that was all just actual game files that can sometimes happen, especially with the PC games. So it's something to be aware of. You know, some people are concerned about getting these hard drives, and I understand, but I've had this, you know, everything that they asked me to install, I've had on here for over a month and had no real issue. So I don't think there's really anything to worry about. I mean, you know, don't completely hold me to that in case I'm wrong, but I wouldn't be overly concerned with it. I think it's working just fine and as it should. Another thing that's a bit of a negative, although I'm not sure there's a way around it, is I do wish that every system you could get out of the exact same way, and it's because this is really just showing you what games you have for certain emulators. You're really running those emulator programs, and so as a result, you know, it has shut down the way those emulators have to shut down. It'd be nice if this somehow could do that, but that's not really the fault of the hard drive so much as it's just how things work. But, you know, it's there. If that bothers you, that is a thing. And then other than that, really, you might find the occasional game that does have some kind of issue in it. You know, again, Beetle Adventure Racing had some minor tearing issues, but you know, I haven't seen anything yet that is really a big deal as far as that goes. So I don't think it's necessarily anything to be too concerned with. It is possible there's games on here that I have not tried yet that maybe don't work the way you'd want them to. I'm not sure, but that seems like it's possible just because that can happen very easily. But, you know, if that is the case, really not that big a deal. You can always try to delete it off here and install a new ROM of that, or even just a different game if you're not interested in that game. So, you know, that's how you're always going to run across with any of these emulation hard drives. Now, as far as the positives go, I really like the selection here. You know, granted, this is a matter of taste, but it really does cater to my taste with all the RPGs. You know, not a huge amount of sports games. I like the occasional sport game. It's not my favorite, but like I definitely don't need, you know, every year of the same game series. It's just not. I'll never play all those versions, even if I have them on here. Like, give me the best one if you want, and that's it. But there's so much other stuff on here that I don't even necessarily care if I have any of the sports games at all. So that's a positive for me. Also, it recognizes, you know, it works with my controller right away because it's something that's installed onto your PC. So not really many issues as far as that goes. And now the big thing that impresses me about this is, you know, this is you'll see on my affiliate link down at the bottom. It's available through AliExpress, and this is really inexpensive. Like the regular price for it is like right around $60, but at least at the time I'm recording this, it's like a little less than $30. And they have sales on these kind of things a lot. So you can get this really big selection of games on a really nice solid hard drive for like $30. I mean, that's almost crazy to me. So, you know, that's got to be a big positive. This is the kind of thing that, you know, again, I mentioned they send it to me. They did. This is probably something I might have bought anyway because it's nice to have you know, a nice tight selection. You know, I've got like that big 12 terabyte whatever, and that's cool, but like it is so much to search through. And while I may have complained a little bit about how this doesn't look that fancy, that one's almost too fancy. So this is it's a lot more relaxing to kind of just look through this thing than dealing with the whole hyperspin mess. I mean, it's cool in its way, but this is a little less grating on the nerves to look through, which I do appreciate as far as that goes. And again, there are ways to change how this displays things. I just have not done any of that. Like if you look over here, it has like 3D boxes, carts, 3D cards, clear logos, all kinds of things that you could try to mess with. Now, I don't know if all of that actually is available through the free version of Launchbox or not. You might have to sign up for the subscription thing for it in order to actually get to show all that. I'm not certain. There's definitely going to be some features that will not be there that would be with the paid version. But if you don't care about any of that, if you're just trying to get to the games and play them, this will do the trick really, really nicely. Now, admittedly, if you want quantity over quality, it's just not that big a system. It just isn't. But I mean, the thing is that I'm never going to play all the games on that 12 terabyte hard drive I have. It's just not going to happen. I doubt I'll even get through all the games on this hard drive, which is 5 gigabytes. It's much smaller, but what it does have packs a punch. And again, I cannot imagine I'll play through all these in my lifetime. So, it's really hard to complain about that. I think they did a really good job. And I think this is really a lot of bang for your buck. So for my personal taste, on this channel, I give everything a score from 0 to 10. 0 would be something that either is basically not functional, or using it makes me so upset or sad that I wouldn't want any of you to be having to deal with that. A 5 is perfectly middle of the road. I could take it or leave it. It does what it does. It's okay. I have no real strong feelings about it at all. And whereas a 10 is something that is perfect, or so close to perfect that its flaws don't matter. So for this particular hard drive, I'm going to give it a 9. It's just shy of a 10 for me. And part of that is just because Launchbox is just kind of weird to work with for me. And I did do something to totally make my my PlayStation 3 games all screwy over here, which, I did it, but I was just trying to figure out how to add games, and it's way easier than I was making it, but now I don't know how to undo this. I have to figure out if there's a way to, but regardless, there's a lot of stuff in this menu system that I would probably never need, and it's just, it could be a little more obvious and cut and dry, but kind of a minor quibble, but it's enough to keep it from being a 10. But, really for the price point, for what you get on the system, for how well, at least everything that I have personally tried, runs, it's really hard to say anything against it. So that's my score, 9 out of 10 for this one. I'm going to try to be more regular with videos now that my voice is at least getting somewhat better. I do feel like it's getting a little, it feels like it's getting weaker as I go on with this video, but I'm at least mostly recovered. So hopefully I can get back on the ball and be doing these more regularly, whether it's specific games or whether it's a device. We'll see. There's a lot of possibilities out there. I do also do board games too. So if you are curious about hobby board games, or if you already like them, make sure you check those videos out as well. Now, if you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe and click the little bell icon so you can know about the next time I put out a video. If this particular hard drive looks interesting to you, please do click that affiliate link, because it will really help me get more things that I can review for you guys. I can't buy all this stuff out of pocket. I just can't. I can always review games. I got a ton of games, but if it's devices that you're curious about or interested in, that will really help me towards getting those in to do these videos. So anyway, that is it for this one. High score for me. And so until next time, I hope to hear about you playing some amazing retro games. Make sure you tell me about them. Have a good one. Hey, you made it to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like it, share it, and click this button to subscribe. If you like that one, you might also like this one.
Or this one.
I cannot believe what I did in that one. Holy cow.
I can.
Of course you can. All right. Anyway, we'll see you around the table.
Bye.
Bye.